Well, hey there, you're on the internet. I'm trying out a new filming setup, and welcome to the Triple N Network, where all you newbie nib nerds can find all the news you'll need. Let's look at an ink today, shall we? Now, today's ink I actually don't have any more of, and I only had in cartridges. It's the Pilot proprietary cartridge, and it's their standard red color, like the ones you get with a Pilot Parallel. They give you a black one and a red one, and this had been the red one. And all the tests were done in this Pilot Vanishing Point with a, I'm not going to be able to show it to you, I know that already. Come on. Longest video ever. Well, you're not going to be able to see it, but it's a broad nib. So, let's check out the chromatography. Yeah, it's a super bright, vibrant red, which I hope comes through. I don't know why there was this bit in the middle that just decided to stick around, which is why I did a second one. But as far as colors, they're fairly similar. As you can see, there's sort of this light pink and then a very bright red, and then it gets slightly darker at the edge. And then in the corners, you get this sort of golden yellow color. But it's a very bright, very vibrant, very true red. Check out the paper test, shall we? And this is where the trouble starts. Clairefontaine, 90 grams per square meter, 18 seconds to dry. As you can see, it's a very bright, very jolly red. But yeah, bleed on Clairefontaine paper. Some feathering, some spread. Let's see if I can get some of this on camera for you. Like, see some of the feathering there and through there. Water test dyed the page, although the writing is fairly dark and clear, but it did feather a bit. And look at that. How often do we see that on Clairefontaine? Essentially never, so. Next is Rhodia, 80 grams per square meter, where it took 10 seconds to dry. And again, there was bleed and feather and spread. And yeah, I mean, I love the color. The color is fantastic. And it's fairly water resistant. Again, dyed the paper a little bit, but what's there is very dark and very clear. But yeah, again, how often do we see that? Next is Tomoe River Paper, where it took 28 seconds to dry, which is a huge leap, but hopefully you'll be able to see this gold sheen going on in the scrubbies. And it's in the letters too, but it's always easiest to see it in the scrubbies. And yeah, near bleeding spots. And this is Tomoe River Paper, so yeah, long dry times. The color is still fantastic. Dyed the page, but that's fairly dark and fairly readable and didn't explode much, but I mean, look at that. You can see that it's almost to the other side. It's almost bleeding all the way through. So, next is the newer 20-pound copier paper. So, not the terrible stuff, but the step up from the terrible stuff that's not quite as good as the original stuff. 3 seconds to dry. Still very bright, still very vibrant, but you've got feather, spread, yeah. Water test is actually very dark, very clear. It didn't dye the paper as much as I thought it was going to, though it did dye it a bit. But look at that. I mean, you can practically read that from this side. So, next is Mead Notebook Paper, where it dried almost instantly and the color is still bright. But you've got bleed and feather and spread. And this water test, although it's fairly dark and fairly there, it's still exploded. And look at that. That you can read from the other side. I mean, look how clear that is. That's ridiculous. And lastly, we have Moleskin Notebook Paper, where it took 4 seconds to dry. Bleed, feather, spread. You know, it's dark and it's there, but it's explodey, dyed the paper a bit. And look at that. Yeah. So, I would like to say something though. I really do like the Pilot Red cartridge. It's the reason why I don't have any more left, because I've used them. However, I try and do these tests as fairly as possible, so did the test like I do every other time, same paper, picked a pen that I would use it in, and for these tests, this ink behaved very badly. However, it's not always behaved very badly, so I don't know. But you know, trying to do this as fair and even as possible. Definitely maybe use it in a finer nib than a broad. But yeah, it's a great bold color. It's not the most well behaved, but it's a beautiful red, and it's surprisingly water resistant, though it will dye the pages a little bit. So for your consideration from the Triple N Network, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. Bye.